So I'm gonna go ahead. Recording in progress. That's what she just said. All right. So I think that means that Ed, you know what to do. It's the Tommy Feldman Happy Hour. Yay! Guys, give it up for us for bringing this show to you guys. This is Tommy Feldman Happy Hour. We are still here. We're still on Zoom doing live comedy talk show. It's all here. People have asked me, Tommy, why are you still doing this Zoom thing? And I say, hey, it's fun. It's just fun. We're just doing it for the fun at this point. But it is kind of cool. We come here every other Friday now, 5 o'clock Pacific time, and we chit chat with other comedians. We find out about what they've been up to, and there's comic stories. We also do a little bit of comedy on the show. That's always fun. Some improv, some sketches, and everything. So it's one of the original pandemic-born Zoom comedy talk shows or comedy shows, and we're still here. We're still doing it. So welcome. And I see we do have some people watching live. So if you have any comments to make, we'll read out your comments, and we'll be introducing our guests one by one as we bring them up. But we always start off the evening with a little bit of news to make sure that we are, where did my video go here? Make sure we are all on the same page about what's going on in the world. So let's start with some news items. And comedians, Rebecca and Anna Mae, if I say something that you want to comment on or you want to add or embellish or add a tag to, as they say in comedy, please feel free. Please feel free. This is an interactive news program. Interactive. All right. So great news. Panda Express this week announced its plan to sell Beyond Meat-based orange chicken, making it the first Asian restaurant to offer the well-known now meat substitute. As part of the rollout, they are also changing the name from orange chicken to Aren't You Glad It's Not Chicken? There we go. Rim shot included with that joke. Am I the only one that loves orange chicken?
Yeah.
My guys like that stuff.
You'd eat it if it was Beyond Meat.
What's the point? No.
What's the point? Exactly.
I think you're being generous by calling them a restaurant.
Hey, they're more Chinese food than P.F. Chang's. That's all I'm going to say.
That is correct. It's affectionately known as Chinese food for Americans. So that's what I like about Panda. A Hong Kong Instagram star tragically plummeted to her death after she slipped while snapping a selfie at a waterfall. Yes. Now, this is sad, of course, but this woman, she had frequently posted pictures of herself posing on the edges of cliffs and all kinds of dangerous places. And she would put in her tagline, life should be fun, not dumb. Well, okay, aside from the tagline, I mean, I agree, life should be fun, but we should always remember the words of TLC. Don't go chasing waterfalls.
Do you want a rim shot on that one, Tommy? You look
no. I just.
Oh, all right.
That was my.
All right.
Every show I gotta sing in my tone deaf voice. I have to sing just a little bit. That's Rebecca. You can tell. I could see you love my singing voice.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what? I think Gravity was just trying to remind us that it's still the #1 influencer, right?
It is good. Yeah. Trending on Instagram right now. All right.
It's sort of ironic that she says life should not be dumb when she was being dumb and it caused her life.
Yeah. I was not going to go there, but you're right. You're right.
Natural selection rears its ugly head again.
Kind of like what's happening with COVID. It's sort of, if you're not vaccinated, All right. A tropical storm, Elsa, wreaked havoc on New York City last week with heavy thunderstorms causing a deluge of rain, flooding subway stations and roadways, causing people to wade through water, as you can see here, just to get home. Now, as a former New Yorker, I do feel bad for the people of New York, but at the same time, I'm glad to see you guys that Riverdance is back on Broadway. I love the way they dance, and hey, it's basically it's outdoor river dance at this point.
And when it rains like that, you got to ask yourself, what else are you gonna do?
Yeah, singing in the rain, dancing in the rain. Let's do it.
First bath in a long time for some of them.
Exactly. Yeah, or if you're trying to save some money, free bath, free shower is another way to look at it.
And it's literally on Broadway, not
It's literally on
adjacent.
Broadway, right? It's not off Broadway.
It's on.
It's on Broadway. A woman in China masterminded a diabolical plan to get revenge on her ex-boyfriend, who was not only cheating on her, but he was also kind of a deviant. I'll leave it at that. So she borrowed his Audi and ran through 49 red lights just so she could rack up fines in his name, so he would have to pay for it. Now, the woman was eventually arrested and interviewed, and they asked her, they said, "Why did you do this?" And she said, "Well, he liked the red light district so much, I figured, here's your red lights, dude."
Oh.
I know that was a little bit, all right.
A park.
Red lights, I don't know,
Oh, stop.
I was on Comedy Wire, and I saw this story, and I'm like, red light district, okay. All right, last story of the night, and this affects us all. The cost of living, I don't know if you guys know this, but everything is getting more expensive. We have inflation. Cost of living leaped in June by the largest amount since 2008. Spread it so as inflation spread more broadly throughout the US economies. And this has a lot of people worried, and especially retailers. Retailers are freaking out about inflation because, it hurts their profits, right? And even the Dollar Tree, you guys, is thinking of doing something about this. They're thinking of rebranding themselves and changing their business model, and they're thinking of becoming, instead of Dollar Tree, Dollar Bush. Dollar Bush. And yes, I do my own graphics here on the Tommy Feldman Happy Hour. So, you like my graphics?
You like my graphics?
You like my graphics?
Bush made me think of something else entirely.
Wasn't gonna go there, Anime. But
I did it for you.
thank you so much for doing that.
I thought it was going to be rebranded as the $1.10 tree.
$1.10. Yeah. Well, yeah, all right. That is inflation. You could go in that direction and increase the price, but I'm assuming they're going to just make their already small toothpaste even smaller.
Shrub, maybe shrub, dollar shrub.
Yeah, dollar shrub. Not that I shop at the dollar store, mind you. Except for every week I do. Okay, I do shop there.
I thought somebody was going to wax poetic about the Dollar Bush.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right. Well, anyway, that's the Tommy Feldman Happy Hour News of the World. You guys give it up for me for coming up with these stories. And by the way, we are happy to have Ms. Ed Rubin's mom on the show. She's commenting here. We are glad we have a Panda Express here in Grass Valley. Your mom writes. Mrs. Rubin, thank you for the comment.
Thanks, Mom.
Did your mom take you to Panda Express when you were younger, Ed?
Panda Express didn't come around until I was older.
Yeah.
Sad, but
if only it was around when I was a kid. That would have been.
we had Cafe House.
What it was called? Cafe House?
Cafe House. I mean, back then, pretty much Cantonese food was all you could get around the Bay Area.
Yeah.
or as Ed lovingly called it, the cat house. He liked to go to the cat house.
Yeah. All right. Well, so let's bring up our first interview of the night. This is a talk show, and we need to talk to our guests. So, guys, let us find. There we go, guys. Give it up for Rebecca Morgan for coming on the show. Welcome, Rebecca. It's so nice to see you again. I have met you in person, and it's great to bring people that I've met in person on the show. Welcome. I typically give a little bit of an intro in the sense of how I know them, and I just did that, and then I generally let the comedians tell us about themselves. So, Rebecca, tell us about your comedy background, and especially, most importantly, what got you into comedy. Love to hear about that.
Well, my comedy background is pretty short, as Ed will attest to. So I got into comedy after being a professional international speaker and best-selling author for 40 years because I'm pretty good on my feet in speeches and seminars, but I wanted to have more planned humor.
Mhm.
So in October of 19, I took a comedy class, which I actually do not recommend, this particular class, which I won't tell you where. But,
Okay.
and then I did my first open mic at the very end of October in 19,
Mhm.
and just got loved the people, loved the response. And so for the next 5 months until we all shut down, I was doing 4 to 5 open mics a week and got featured on some shows, one show out of New York, and was just having a great time. I enjoyed a lot of the comedians that I hung out with. And now I have more planned humor that I integrate into my keynote speeches and my seminars.
Now, how do you do that exactly? Like, when you're giving a PowerPoint, you get onto page 12, PowerPoint slide and presentation number 12, 13, and then all of a sudden there's like a picture of something like a meme, and you go, hey, no, I don't know. I'm just guessing, but how do you do that?
Well, I only use my own original content as a generality. So I don't use other people's material. Again, it's generalities. Right. So, and my sessions are kind of different in that I'll show a slide and then take it off the slide and just show what you're seeing now as I explain the slide, or as I tell a story, or as I explain it, or get some interaction. So it's not so slide focused.
Okay.
And so it's, when I tell the stories now, I've got some punchlines or some little bits that I can include that I've worked out, because all of my humor is clean humor. Some of it is suggestive, but it's not dirty. So I, can port it over from a 5-minute set. I could take a little piece of that and put it in where appropriate into my corporate talks.
How about the reverse? Have you ever been giving a presentation and you sort of just randomly said something and the crowd laughed and you're like, oh, I gotta use that in my set?
Absolutely. For decades. For decades I've done it.
Oh, you got a little echo.
I don't know why.
Hold on a minute. Could be Steve.
I think maybe it's Anna, because she's dialed in on 2 devices.
Sorry, you guys. Oh my gosh, I'm like a senior citizen.
It's all right. Hey, this is a Zoom show. It's Facebook Live. I mean, these things happen. Not a problem. Now, Rebecca, before I bring up your clip of your comedy, which you sent in, I do want to say you have more acronyms next to your name than anyone I've ever met. Why 3 acronyms?
So the first one is certified speaking professional. So that's my professional speaking side.
Got it.
The second one is certified management consultant, which is my consulting side. And then the third one is certified virtual presenter, which is what the world we live in now, to show people that I'm adept at being interactive and being engaging, even in this little medium we've got here.
Yeah,
people say I'm certifiable.
We do. We say that a lot about you, Ed.
Yeah, I'm actually just jealous. That's why I said that. I just, just for the record, I wish I had some certifications next to my name.
But so you speak Japanese. Maybe you could add that. Speaks Japanese.
Yeah, yes, I could do that. So you did send us a couple of clips, and I wanted to bring up the one that you sent of you. I believe this is at Rooster T. Feathers. Let me see if I can.
It is.
Yeah, the famous red curtain. So anything else you want to say about, besides that's it's roosters? Is there?
No, Ed and I were in a contest that night, and neither one of us won.
And that's the Rooster T. Feathers New Talent Competition, which is always a good sort of way to get some exposure. I personally, I'm not done very well with competitions, but I do find the value of just having a ready audience willing to laugh. And, it is a comedy club after all. So it's a really good experience, even if you don't win.
I will say that this was 3 months in. So November, December, January, it was the first of it. So I've only been doing stand-up 3 months at this point.
All right. Well, let's hear your jokes. I thought there was some pretty good stuff. So let's play. Let me go full screen here. Rebecca Morgan at Rooster T. Feathers. Let's play it from. Let's see, play it from the 2-minute mark here.
Oh, okay. You're not going to start at the beginning because
Just for time's sake, I was thinking of playing it towards the middle. I kind of checked it.
Okay.
I thought you started to pick up steam around this mark.
Okay. It's just the callback is introduced at the beginning. But anyway, whatever you think.
You want to just tell us real quick? It's about dating, right?
Right. So we have a callback in this section, right? I think we do.
Let's just play it,
all right.
and we'll just if we find ourselves going, what was that about? We'll clarify. All right,
All
Rebecca Morgan at the Rooster T. Feathers. How's that? Let's play that. Okay.
One of them called again. Idiot.
Oh, that's right. Okay, you asked people to say idiot after you point at them, right?
Right.
Okay.
The first year I went out with 45 men. You're saying, Rebecca, how did you keep track of 45 men? How did you? Glad you asked. I had a database.
I like that joke.
Can you turn up a little, Tom?
I went out with 121 men. Now, some of you are saying, Rebecca, how many of those 101 did you sleep with? Who's asking that? None of your damn business. Only half. And now I attend Skanks Anonymous. I've done some interesting things as a single woman that I might not have done as a married woman. For example, I went to Mardi Gras. I came back with 50 pounds of beads because I learned that as a middle-aged woman trolling for beads, you don't have to raise your top quite so high. Look for me in the middle-aged women run wild videos. Oldest living Uchi Mama. I've run out with some interesting men. One man had trained to be an astronaut. However, I gotta tell you, the date was not out of this world. He was a bit of a challenger. He aborted the relationship before it even launched. I will tell you though, my latest guy, number 121, I met on that famous dating site, LinkedIn. However, he's so young.
How young was he?
He is decades younger than I am. He gives new meaning to that term, let's go back to the crib. After he learned I was older than his mother, he said, I'm out of here. I'm looking for hot women, not women with hot flashes. I'm Rebecca Morgan. Thank you very much.
That was really good, Rebecca.
Thank you. In fact, number 121 is who did that video, who took that video.
Oh, really?
No, I didn't realize that was only 3 months in. I thought that was, much later. But that's not what I. Well, so I think we share one thing in common, which is the clean comedy aspect, and that's always a challenge, right? About what you can talk about. But dating's always good. Dating's always a fun topic to talk about. I thought you were gonna start talking about the dating apps. I guess that's a new direction you could go in, but maybe you don't use the dating apps.
I have. They're just not that funny, and everybody does them.
So,
I try to be somewhat different.
Yeah. So what have you been let's talk about, bring us up to speed now. So you've been during the pandemic, I think earlier before the show started, you were saying that you haven't yet quite ventured out, but what's your plan going forward? What kind of comedy are you going to be working on?
Well, so I had done some virtual stuff. In fact, in June, I did two corporate happy hours, which went over very well. And I don't know, I sort of like this medium because I can be anywhere in the world and people can be anywhere in the world, and it just is so easy. And also that one of my biggest challenges is memorizing. So unlike my seminars where, yes, the word choices are important, they're not so critical. That's one of the things I like and dislike about comedy, is that the pithiness, the tightness of each sentence is so critical, and each word is so important. So memorizing that preciseness is kind of hard for me. It's, at least at first. So I love this medium because I can have my script right under the camera, and nobody knows that I have a script right under the camera.
I agree with you. It is a challenge. It's you know, as you, especially as you get older, to like memorize what the joke is and get it right the same time at every single time. I just did. Well, I did just stand up the other night for the first time in a long time, and because I had been doing Zoom so long, and I never memorized anything during Zoom. I just, like you said, I'd have it up on my screen, and most people didn't even know. Or at least they they wouldn't suspect. But like with real life, I don't want to take my jokes out and look at them, you know, because that looks unprofessional, right? So that, yeah, I agree with you. It's very difficult. So you're not ready. You're going to be doing Zoom comedy for the time being, then.
You know, I will probably go and do like Off the Hook when Ed is there, or you know, places where I've just also had some kind of negative experiences with some comics. And one of the things I talk about in my corporate talks is psychological safety, and where I haven't felt psychological safe around some of the people that I've interacted with. So if I've got an Ed there that I know is going to kind of take care of and look out for, then I'm more willing to venture out. But I'm not willing to, you know, just be in some circumstances that just don't feel good.
There is, and I'm glad you brought that up, because there has been some discussion on the Bay Area Comedy Network and where else. I don't know. I keep seeing a lot of this, like, now that people are going back live again, they're sort of questioning, especially the female comics are like, you know, hey, we got to address this issue, you know. And so I guess, yeah.
So to answer your question, one of the things I do if I'm doing a talk, let's say for an association, I give them all a prize at the end, and I give them all a prize. And I say, one of the 4 prizes you can have, and you can have all 4 if you want, but one of them is a 20-minute happy hour clean stand-up routine by me. And it's a way to get into some companies that I might not have got into otherwise. They get to be familiar with me, but also it's a great place to practice, right? And I'm always looking for places to practice. So I'm going to continue doing that, offering that. And, you know, I don't have any delusion that I will become a corporate person. Frankly, I couldn't take the pay cut. For what people get paid, what I hear even headliners get paid. I'm going, are you kidding? People work for that? I just am stunned. So I'm going to stick with my focus of just using it to add more humor to my corporate stuff.
Well, I think that's a smart and welcome idea. I'm a business person too, as I explained earlier, and I cannot tell you how often I've had to sit through presentations, PowerPoint presentations, and I almost fall asleep because people can be just so boring. And it's nice to hear someone else recognizing that presentations need to have some flair and some jokes and some humor. And so I encourage you to keep doing what you're doing, because that's very important.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. And guys, give it up for Rebecca Morgan for coming on the show. We really appreciate it. Rebecca, I will, if you want me to post on our page something to promote, I'll put the YouTube video up so people can see your comedy. But if there's anything else, just send it our way and we will continue to promote your comedy.
Thank you, Tommy. Appreciate it.
All right. We appreciate it. And so now we're ready for our next segment. And by the way, we have Suresh, my former co-producer or current co-producer, back on the show. Hey, Suresh, welcome back.
Hey, Tommy, how's it going?
All right,
Hey,
going
everybody.
good. All right. And let's see. So now we're going to do a little bit of improv. How about some improv, you guys? Should we do? Yeah. Okay, so let me swap spotlights with Ed. Ed's our improv leader. And Ed, do you want to like sort of explain how we do improv here on the show?
Oh, sure. Well, if you're in normal improv, they say never ask a question, but we're playing a game where you only ask a question. And so we're going to give a prompt, and then 2 or more people are going to go off with that prompt, and they're just going to ask each other everything in the form of a question.
All right.
And then when somebody says something and it's not in the form of the question, Tommy will ring the judge's bell, and that will be the end of that segment. And just based on how long things go, depends on how many little rounds we do.
All right.
So anybody is welcome to participate.
Mm-hmm.
So do we have volunteers?
So Rebecca and Anna, what we could do is, so Sarish is here. Both Sarish and Ed have improv experience. So we usually start off with the 2 of them, and then you guys can jump in and swap in and players. So let's start with Sarish and Ed on our first questions only of the night. Let's go back to our screen here and find the page. If I can figure out how to exit full screen. Whoops. Okay, can I get all right, so Ed and Sarish, should we go with a location, relationship, or word?
What do you want, Sarish?
Let's go with a word.
Okay, and today's word is disapprove. All right, take it away, guys.
Why are you so upset with me?
What would you say if I didn't want to answer that question?
Why won't you answer that question?
Can't you tell why I'm disappointed?
Do I seem like the type of guy that could tell why you're disappointed?
Aren't you supposed to be my dad?
Who's your mother?
Shouldn't you be knowing that?
Shouldn't she be here to answer her own damn question?
Where is mother?
Isn't she in the same place I buried her?
Do you not know why I'm upset now?
You think I'm getting any more full of clues here?
Where did you bury her exactly?
Who's asking?
Maybe the coroner.
All right.
Yay!
Hey, good job, you guys. Good job. And by the way, Sarish, I like your background because you are in Hawaii, correct?
Yeah, aloha, aloha.
Aloha. You look the
I
most.
like that
relaxed.
he's in Hawaii, but he looks like he's in a jail cell. waiting,
No,
waiting,
no.
waiting for the bailiff to get him out.
You look so relaxed.
Ah, that's
Oh, wow.
better. All right, that's
that.
much better. All
Guys,
right.
That's awesome.
Aloha.
We're doing our show from Hawaii. This is awesome. So that's how we play the improv questions. Rebecca, Anna, you guys want to try it out a little bit, or?
Sure.
Sure, I'm very clumsy with this stuff, though.
All right, so why don't we, Rebecca, why don't we add you first, and we'll do Rebecca and Ed as the next topic, and we'll go back to the, can I get a sort of word generator here? Should we try relationship? What do you think, Ed? Should we try relationship?
Sure.
All right. So
How
what
dangerous
today's
could this
relationship
be?
is going to be a pharmacist and a customer. Take it away.
Which pill bottle did you take this from?
Can't you tell?
Do I look like a mind reader?
Do I look like I understand the pharmacy labels?
Did you not see the skull and crossbones on this one?
Isn't this Viagra?
Why are you taking Viagra still?
Don't you know that men your age need Viagra?
How old do you think I am?
How old are you?
Who wants to know?
Let's see. Women want to know, don't you think?
That I'm gonna
Okay.
I'm gonna ring
that's-
it on that one because it was, but that was great. That was great.
Good
That
job.
was great. Good job on that. I like the skull and crossbones reference. Very graphic. All right, Anna, why don't we try putting you on with Suresh from Hawaii, and maybe we can get a little aloha spirit going. Wait, did I add? Okay, here we go. Anna and Suresh, and let's go back to our generator of words. What would you like to do, you guys? A location, a relationship, or word?
I'll
Relationship.
let
Relationship. All right. Guess wins. So we're gonna go with relation. What? Wait, no, hold on. I did that wrong. That's
think
not a
it's like-
relationship.
Oh, come on.
Relationship. Bartender and regular. Okay.
So what would you like to have today?
What did you just say?
So would that be two automobiles?
Maybe my sound is off, but is there something with the accent that you're using that I can't understand?
Are we still playing improv? Or is that an actual question?
That might have been the first thing that came to mind, perhaps.
Let's do it over. Should we do it over, you guys? Let's do it over.
Yeah, let's do it
I'm
over.
fine with this.
I think there
Wait,
was,
so I just want to make sure. Anna, can you hear me? Or no?
I can, but I really couldn't make out every word.
yeah, I couldn't either.
Okay.
Suresh, your audio was blanked out for a minute. Let's try a different relationship. Actor and understudy. Let's try that.
Ah, yes.
One of you is an actor and one of you is the understudy of that actor, I guess.
So what do the earmuffs mean?
I'm trying to play a bunny. Oh, that's not.
All right, good job, you guys. Good job. Very good, you guys. All right. Well, that was our improv. I hope you guys had fun with that. Let us put myself back in the spotlight. And now we were going to have Zach on. Is Zach here? No, Zach does not appear. So this time, 2 times now that Zach Handa has not made the show. So that's
Playing hard to get, Tommy.
What did
Playing
you
hard to
say?
get.
Not yet?
Playing hard to get. No, he's playing hard to get.
I don't know if that's it. But I mean, I was on his Mojo Ministry Zoom mic last Wednesday, and he said, "Hey, I was really sorry I didn't make it because of I had the vaccine." But then Niko was telling me that he's does, you know, he tokes during every show, which is true. I see him on the bong, like he'll do a joke and hit the bong, do a joke and hit the bong. So I'm assuming that, you know, he has difficulty making it on time to things or remembering things, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, that's too bad. But it's, you know, that's the way it goes. So, you know what? Let's roll right into our next interview. Anna May. Let's bring up Anna May, you guys. Guys, welcome to the show, Anna May. Anna May, comic. Anna May, it says comic, but I know you're not just a comic. You are a realtor, a real estate agent, an actress or actor, and you are multi-talented. And always good to have you on the show. And welcome back. How have you been?
I've been good. I realized when you invited me to your show before, I thought that I would just show up and support you. I didn't realize that you had the expectation that I participate in anyway. I don't know if you remember that.
I do.
You probably thought I was a dud, but the reality was you weren't specific enough for me. So looking back, I realized, oh, Tommy had expectations, but I was just there to support you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And that's, you know, that's one of the things I like about you. And, you know, you're always supportive of not just me, but other comedians. And, you know, you're a very well-liked comedian here in the Bay Area, I think for that reason, because you are supportive. And great to have you back. Yeah, you know, one of the things we like to do on the show is bring people back and sort of find out their COVID or pandemic story and see like how people have been. I know you've been back out again doing live comedy, and I know you've been doing your real estate too. So catch us up. Like what have you been doing comedy wise?
Well, I didn't stop doing comedy over the last year. There were Zoom shows, which is a very different in-your-face dynamic. And there were outdoor shows, and we're back inside the clubs again. And all the money I earn doing these comedy shows, I
That's
donate
right.
to charity. So I'm driven more than I would be otherwise because of that component.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of money, so it's nothing impressive, but it helps me to feel good about what I'm doing. I need more than just one reason to be there.
I think that's so. And as Rebecca alluded to earlier, sort of the people that make money doing comedy. I mean, it's just the very, 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 very top of the profession. Most people are like us; they have a day job that pays the bills and is more profitable. And comedy sort of is the therapy that keeps us going. And so I think we're all on the same page. And what I always thought was unique about you, Anime, is you have your realtor business, and you kind of combine them in a sense. You're not bashful about the fact that you are a realtor. And I always, how has that been? I mean, real estate obviously during the pandemic has been on fire. So I'm assuming you've been really busy, but has comedy helped or hurt, or are the two still sort of intertwined, or how's that going?
Well, because I only have 24 hours in a day, the way that I've always worked, because I've been a business owner for a long, 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 long time.
Mhm.
I won't tell you how long because I'll date myself, but
Sure.
for a very long time. And so being a business owner for a long time means I have to be efficient with how I spend my time, which means the stuff I do for my business has to be connected to my extracurricular activities, such as comedy, which has to be tied to charities that I've always been passionate about supporting, some kind of charity. So
Mhm.
all three of these things have to be connected somehow for
Mhm.
me to make the most of my 24 hours.
That
per
makes
day.
sense. That makes
So
sense.
nothing's changed in that sense. I invite my clients to my comedy shows as a thank you to them for doing business with me. But I
Right.
wait till after I close the sale. And I actually the largest group of my supporters
Mhm.
in my comedy have been fellow real estate professionals,
No.
which is interesting.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe they're just being supportive so that I can make it big and get out of the business so they can have all.
Right. Well, that makes sense. My little real estate, I don't know if you know this, but I actually just moved from the Bay Area. And I know, you guys as realtors, you probably get a lot of stories, right? People coming, well, mostly people leaving the Bay Area, for Texas, for Idaho. But I moved to San Luis Obispo. I'm still going to be coming back to the Bay Area for comedy, but are you seeing, just out of curiosity, how's your business doing as far as, I mean, are you having people leaving, coming in, or you're in the East Bay, right?
I'm located in the East Bay. My office, we have 20 plus offices. I actually closed my business a couple months ago in May. I closed my real estate
Right.
and joined a larger brokerage.
Okay.
And most of my business is by referral.
Mhm.
And so most of it is listings, and it's just, a lot. Actually, what I'm seeing right now is a lot of property owners are getting rid of their investment properties, just cashing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they don't mind paying the capital gains taxes. They just want out because they're frustrated.
No, okay. So no, this is not comedy related, but they just want, you're saying that they don't mind the capital gains tax, which is like 20%, obviously. They just want out. You're saying they want out of the Bay Area completely, or because they're already in the Bay Area, they're leaving and they want to sell all their investment and regular real estate and just exit.
It's a little bit of both. They just want their money.
They just want their money. I had a buddy who like he actually he got the services of a realtor. He started looking at selling his investment properties in the Tri-Valley area in San Ramon, Dublin. And then I don't know, he figured out that, there is capital gains tax, and you're gonna have to pay the tax on it because it's not your primary residence. And he's like, oh no, I think I'll just rent it out, keep renting it after. I don't know. I mean, people are weird. They don't like think about, they just think about, they don't think things through, I think. And then when they realize the tax implications, I don't know. That was a weird story. But anyway, I'm here and I sold my house in the Bay Area. And I guess I've exited. So I don't know why I'm telling you that.
Why did you move, Tommy? I was always curious. Why did you move?
Why did I move?
Was it for
Why did I move? Okay, this might be interesting for Anime because she is a realtor and she needs to know about customer. For me, it was really just I was looking to leave for like quote unquote, retirement. And with the pandemic, my wife when I just said, let's just do this now. Why wait? That's all. So the Bay Area is great for, I think, when you're, for your career, but as you get older and then maybe you can work remotely, I think that's when people start to work remotely. All right. That has nothing to do with comedy. Let's get back to comedy. Anna Mae, do you have any comedy things you want to promote? Like any shows coming up? I think you were Tommy T's recently.
Yes, and I was at the Comedy Club over this past weekend.
Okay.
And I have 2 more shows coming up at Cobb's Comedy Club in San Francisco on the 25th of this month.
Okay.
Kabir Singh is the headliner. And then next month at the San Jose Improv, August 9th, I'll be performing again with Kabir Singh as the headliner. And that one at the San Jose Improv, it's called the Outsourced Comedy Show. And it took me a little while to realize why it was called outsourced. Is because everybody on the lineup besides me is Indian.
Oh, okay.
So, now I get it. That's why it's called outsourced.
And I'd heard about that, and I'd heard about the all Indian comedy shows. It's from Suresh, who's here with us, and but I guess Suresh, that's still a thing, I guess. But that's great. Kabir Singh was recently on America's Got Talent or something, right?
Yes. I've been doing most of my shows with him.
Oh, okay. So you're becoming part of that little group then. That's good, because he helps a lot of comedians, like takes them on the road and stuff like that. So that's a good way to get booked for those of you that are listening that are comics. If you sort of stay well connected, you can always get opportunities. Anything else to promote, Anna Mae, before we go to our next segment?
I'm not really into self-promotion mode right now, but
okay.
I appreciate being here, and
all right.
be specific that I'm, part of your show instead of just being here.
Yes, you are an integral part of your show. I was going to play a clip of yours, but I couldn't find one. Maybe you can send one in later, and we'll put it on the website.
Oh, I don't really have any clips.
Okay.
I don't have anything organized. I'm
all right.
coming out of being a business owner, and that's been my priority. So maybe this is a good kick in the pants for me to do that. But
all right. Well, if you ever have a clip, we'll put it on the website. And guys, give it up for Anna Mae for coming on the show. Always see you, and I hope to see you in person whenever I come up for the Bay Area for comedy. Hopefully. Oh wait, he's here, guys. Zachy.
Hey, what's up? Sorry I'm late.
That's all right. I was explaining to the team here that you might have been busy doing something else. But now you're here.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. All right. Well, we'll have you up in a minute. Zach. But first, we do have sponsors on this show, and let me make sure that let me put that over there and replace Ed with me. So normally we would have Eric Newton going out and hitting the streets of San Francisco getting all the sponsors, but Eric couldn't make it this week. So we sent Ed out into the reward to get us some sponsors. Ed, what did you find?
Oh, Tommy. Oh, let me tell you, people are always telling me advertising is not rocket science. That could be true, but that doesn't mean we can't try and do sponsorship deals with rocket scientists, or at least the people that sign the paychecks of rocket scientists. Does anybody still actually get paychecks? I haven't gotten a paycheck. I haven't seen a real paycheck in a long time. And heck, these days, my kids don't even know how to sign their names, right? I mean, they don't learn cursive or anything, but I digress. So we've all heard the phrase, right? It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Well, nowhere is that phrase more true than in space, especially if you're in Earth orbit, right?
Mm.
And that's why I am pleased to announce that the Tommy Feldman Happy Hour has signed an exclusive deal with not one, not two, but all three
wow.
of the billionaire financed space companies. That's right. That was a lot of work, let me tell you. I mean, it's hard to get Jeff, Richard, and Elon to agree on much, except that they shouldn't have to pay taxes because of all they do for us peons, right? But they all agree that the Tommy Feldman Happy Hour is fully aligned with their mission statements. And I think it really helped that we don't have a mission statement. It's a lot easier to go with whatever they said, right? Which is what I did. Now, it would be one thing if this was just your normal, I forgot to say who we signed the deal with. Also, Anheuser-Busch InBev. So yeah, when they go into space, they're going to be knocking back a cold one, and we're going to be enjoying that, I think. Now, it would be one thing if this thing were just a normal sponsorship deal where they pay us money and we talk about all the reasons you should believe in their products, yada, yada, yada. But we at the Tommy Feldman Hour are not a normal sponsorship deal. You remember when we told you that the normal deal maker to the stars, Eric Newton, is out to dinner with his girlfriend because it's her birthday? All right, so I forgot to tell you that at the beginning. I really should get that down. Anyway, well, the reason we told you that is because of contractual obligations. Now I can really finally reveal that the real reason Eric Newton is not here is because Eric is going to be launched into space. I know, right? Now, prior to this moment, Eric has been able to prepare at home. He's been watching Star Wars episodes 1 through 6 because 7 and 9 through 9 just unwatchable. He's also been watching Star Trek, the even-numbered episodes. Yes, just the original. I don't really know much about it, ones after that. But now things are getting real. The training has gotten so much more intense. Now, for national security reasons, I'm not at liberty to say when Eric's real launch is, so stay tuned. In the meantime, just knock back a Corona and make yourself happy. Thank you very much, Tommy.
All right, guys, give it up for Ed for those fantastic sponsors. Always wonderful to get people paying for our show. Yeah, that was really interesting seeing Richard Branson go up in space this past week. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, he's so quiet about it.
Glad he's glad they're sponsoring our show. I'm surprised that at his age he didn't throw up or anything. I thought, he's a pretty robust guy. All right, I digress. Guys, we have here he is. He's here finally. We got him, you guys. It's Mr. Zach Handa. Welcome to the show.
Hey, what's up?
Full disclosure, Zach, I thought you were not going to show up. And I started telling everybody that because I know that you do like to, during the shows, that maybe this time, you didn't make it for that reason. And that's full disclosure here. But I'm glad to see you did make it.
Yes, I did make it.
You did make it. And man, good to have you. I really like your Wednesday Mojo Ministry, Mike. But you know what? I'll let you tell us about it. I know you do a lot of different things in comedy. You got your Mojo Ministry and your Cheap Comedy Fest. But tell us, Zach, tell us about your comedy background, how long you've been doing comedy, what got you into comedy, and what you've been working on.
Okay, so I did like shrooms in 2018, and I was like, I should do comedy. and then I did comedy, and yeah. There's a lot of mics to go to. I'm in LA. Yeah, that's what's up.
Now, all right, so that's how you got into comedy. But so you started in 2018. Did I hear that right? Yeah,
like July 2018.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, so yeah, I'm at like 3 years now.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
And where were you before the pandemic? Like, what was your where did you like to perform?
Yeah, I've just been a micer before the pandemic. I'm kind of like I've been a micer for the most part after the pandemic. I've only really like Zoom, I guess, is cool because like I got booked spots on Zoom, which is neat. I feel like a lot of people got upgraded as comics.
Yeah.
During the pandemic because it was like, yeah, like, oh, you've done this in person before, so that was neat.
I agree. I agree with you.
Yeah, Niko's here too. You could blame him. I get my weed from Niko. No, I'm just kidding.
You do. That story I tell is all about the distribution with Zach.
You're absolutely right, Zach. I think if you can, especially like in your case, you did Mojo Ministry, And if you're consistently doing Zoom every week like you've been doing, you had the two, right, on 2 in 1 day, and so that
Yeah,
probably got you a
2
lot of
days a
exposure,
week.
right?
Yeah, well, cause like before pandemic, I was pretty much just going up 4 times a week,
Hmm.
and now I'm going up a bit more, but yeah, so like I just kind of just hosted my own mic because I was like I could get the time in, and it ended up being good because I there's like a hosting muscle that you could build
Hmm. For sure.
from like hosting a
Mhm.
mic, which is pretty neat.
No, I like your Wednesdays, Mike, and I thought that was pretty good. Now tell us a little bit about Cheap Comedy Fest. I'd heard about that like here and there. I knew you were doing it, but what kind of genius comes with tries to put cheap with comedy? Is that you do? You did it. So tell us about the Cheap Comedy Fest.
Oh yeah, so Niko might have some insight on this because like there was a period of time when everybody was like, you can't do an online comedy festival. Well, everyone's still saying that, but like everyone was like, online comedy festivals. And so there was like this one comedy festival that everyone was mad at. I think it was called like AIG or something like that. And like and like all these people were just like like there's a bunch of like complaint threads about it. And so I was like, hey, someone should throw a comedy fest that's like $5, right? And then that was it. I've never even like been to a comedy festival before.
Yeah.
So I kind of like designed it like Homer Simpson's car,
Yeah.
where I
Yeah.
was just like, oh hey, it should have like a tournament and then videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I've ended up like yeah, like the bud like I found out that I found out why they charge more than $5 for comedy fests.
Well, I wanted to show everybody your the page for your show, if I might, because
Oh yeah, sure.
the way you did it was kind of cool. So yeah, like so this is the page for the Cheap Comedy Fest, and here you did your own commercial in front of a used car lot.
Close your Facebook chat, dude.
That's right. Close that. Close that. It says, "Whoops, sorry."
Actually,
How do I
not too
close
bad.
that?
Hit the minus sign.
Whatever.
Whew. I hope there was nothing confidential there.
It wasn't too bad.
All right, it's okay. Hey, it's Zoom. So yeah, I really like your little
Making any
commercial that you
money.
did here. What
Well,
the?
let me tell you, I'm on unemployment. I'm not making any money.
Hold on.
There's no way I could make enough money from this to be worth messing up my unemployment.
So you made your own commercial, but let me go ahead and play this. Do you mind if I play this here?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So this is your commercial and it's exactly like what you said. It's like it's almost like The Simpsons, or it's like cartoonish. It's like you just started randomly drawing on a screen, and here's a comedy fest. I just like this style here. And then you did your own. You put on a jacket. I don't know where you got the jacket from. Maybe that's your dad's jacket, or and you're rocking a little bit of stash here too. So I think it's really effective, this commercial. Guys, watch this.
Yeah.
Watch Zach promote the
Look,
cheap.
everyone's saying that's my dad's jacket. No, I don't have a dad. That's why I had a mullet. All right, you don't have good father figures and then grow a mullet. Yeah, I own a jacket.
The whole thing works, man. Let's play this, the commercial.
Love it, dude. Love it.
Hello, comedians. It's almost May 5th, and that means submissions are almost closed for Cheap Comedy Fest. Some of you might ask, with Cheap Comedy Fest being so cheap, how are you making any money? Well, let me tell you, I'm on unemployment. I'm not making any money. There's no way I could make enough money from this to be worth messing up my unemployment. That makes Cheap Comedy Fest the first comedy fest subsidized with government money. Hell yeah. And that's why it's so fitting that we have two very qualified judges for the finals. Your first judge and headliner of Cheap Comedy Fest is Perry Kurtz. Perry is a 47-year pro who's headlined most of the major comedy clubs around the U.S., and he's also been seen on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno and The Late Late Show with James Corden. Your other finals judge is Steve North, one of the top comedy coaches in Los Angeles, a veteran comedy writer and author of the highly rated book How to Kill in Comedy. He is also a professor of advanced classes at Flappers University. On top of a $20 cash prize, the champion of cheap will receive a copy of Steve North's book, How to Kill in Comedy, as well as an hour of private coaching with Steve North himself. All the tools you need to win every other comedy fest. Watch out, Just for Laughs. A chance to become the champion of Cheap Comedy Fest. Then submit today. I'll see you in the finals.
Oh man, it's like slightly reminiscent of like cable, like local access cable. Is
Yeah,
that-
well, yeah, because like when I I don't know if any of you guys are from like around LA or California, but yeah, I was thinking, I don't know if there's this guy named Cal Worthington,
Mhm.
and he would always have like these early morning car ads, you know, like he had
Yeah.
like a tiger and stuff. So like, yeah, that's um yeah, that's kind of like what I based that background off of, you know, with like the blue bar at the top
Yeah.
and the font, and then like
How
the
did how did it go? Did you? I mean, or well, see, did it happen yet? It's all, you just announced it, or what's the
oh no,
status?
yeah, it happened. There was like finals and a winner.
Cool.
Yeah, um, yeah. Uh,
Forget now too.
what's
Did
up?
Goldberg win? I know he won he made through.
Yeah, let me. Wait, I have who won on the website.
Oh, let's okay. There's a
I
website.
gotta say it was rigged because I didn't pass, but other than that, it was pretty cool.
Cheap comedy. Let's pull up the website. Oh, here we go. Okay.
That was fun. Everyone had a good
Yeah,
time.
it was Dwayne White came in second place, and
Oh, he's
Dana
great.
Keel was first place.
All
I should have updated the website after the finals, but yeah, Steve North came out and like he wore his hat while
Mhm.
judging, which is neat. Yeah, yeah. A funny thing is like a while after the comedy fest. I don't know if you guys like ever listen to Bonfire with Big J Okerson
Mhm.
and that other dude. Um, but yeah, like they looked into Steve North, and there's yeah, they have like a whole bit released as one of their free podcast segments about the comedy coach, which is pretty funny.
Did you think that doing this comedy festival helped you either with bookings, getting content, making network? I mean, was it worth doing? Do you feel?
Yeah, it was worth doing, you know. Yeah, I feel like it increased my Zoom street rep in the Zoom comments. It was neat though, actually. When I first started going back in person, like I ran into a bunch of people who were like part of the Cheap Comedy Fest, and I was like,
Oh, that's so cool.
yeah,
Oh yeah, I love it, dude. That's so grand.
yeah. Like it's always fun when like I run into like a bunch of Zoom comics, like or like people from my mic, you know, out in the wild,
Yeah.
you know, and I'll be like, that guy's from my Zoom mic, and then they're like, at two, Zach, like, don't tell him I'm a Zoom comic.
They're like embarrassed, and you're like, yeah.
Well, I think it's great what you did, what you've done, and I think it's you know, you just got to do LA especially, and just in comedy world, you got to stand out. And I thought that was a pretty clever marketing move, and I hope it works out for you. What do you want to promote on the show tonight? Do you have any now that Comedy Fest is over? You got something else? Just the Mojo Ministry, or is there something else you want to?
Yeah, I have my mic on Mondays and Wednesdays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's you know, it's 6 p.m. Pacific. I'll probably be running it for a bit more,
All
you
right.
know, while I'm on unemployment.
Well, I'm looking. I look forward to it. I've got it on my calendar here as something I might like to do from time to time.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. So, Zach, just out of curiosity, you're not from LA originally though, or
No, I'm from here.
you are?
Yeah, I just talk weird because I grew up playing video games.
I was gonna say like your whole vibe kind of just throws me off. I feel like I'm talking to like an 80s like I don't know, like local access, like Wayne's World. Like you've channeled Wayne's World into the modern era, I feel.
Oh, thank you.
So anyway, well, Zach, it's always great to see you, and I appreciate you coming on the show. Guys, give it up for Zach Handa for coming on the show. Check out.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. I want to just keep things moving along here because I did see Niko Lukoff show up. So let's put Niko up here.
Sure.
Niko, good to see you're not on the road right now. You are.
Yeah. Last time was a little dangerous when I was pulling over. I was planning that still, but yeah, that was fun.
Good to see you, man. So you're still rocking this in-person versus Zoom world now. What's the latest?
It's bizarre, man. I could talk about it forever. I'm not gonna. But it's such a weird experience to go from. It's like if you're used to driving 55, you got used to it again, and then you can go 80 for a while, and then you drive through somewhere you got to go 55 again. It's so weird jumping through worlds, and like it messes with your. I don't think it's Zach. Have you been doing some live stand up?
Yeah,
Have you going back to Zoom? Is it just messing with your soul a little bit? Like you gotta you hear a noise, you gotta stop, and like it's so. Are you feeling that too?
Well, I was doing so like I was going in person, and then everyone was like, "Wow, he just keeps writing material." I was like, "No, I've been writing material on Zoom," but like, but when I went back to Zoom at first, like I got a little too wild because like in person, I can say a lot of words that you can't say on like, you know. And I just came back and I was like, I went too blue.
Oh,
and,
Zoom's more sensitive for sure.
Yeah,
you got everybody from everywhere,
right.
And you got it's a more sensitive demographic. Like it just is. It's not. I'm not saying that's good or bad. It's just what it is. People get more offended just for whatever happens to be easier on Zoom than live, right?
Yeah,
For the most part. I gotta see it. So like I've been doing. I mean, I run the group, so I feel like shitty saying this, but I don't do a lot of Zooms anymore. I do like 1 or 2 a week. I've been doing a lot of live mics whenever I can, and kind of going through worlds and kind of similar thing, meeting people. And that's really cool. You met a lot of people because you're in a concentrated area. I'm in Boise, Idaho area. And most people here don't do this. It's usually the same thing. They're like, oh, I did one Zoom and it sucked. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. Like it's a weird format, but a lot of us did do it. And what's cool too, like you said, the writing, because now instead of trying to come up with new stuff which I'm still working on making new stuff, I'm just trying to refine the stuff that I worked out on Zoom. And I've got 25-ish, 30 minutes of stuff that I think is pretty good that I'm playing with at different times live. And that's a decent amount to fine tune doing 3, 5, 10-minute sets.
Yeah.
And actually I did get to host live the other day. And you were saying hosting, Zach, you're talking about the Chops hosting. I was hosting the Zoom Flappers once a week for about 6 months. Love emceeing, loved it. I was really sad to be like, hey guys, I'm going to stop doing it because there's live stuff I'm going to do. And the other night I was actually at a live mic where the people who usually run it just like didn't show up. And some of the comics, they said typically that sometimes that happens and they'll just assign a host. And then one of those comics who was talking about me maybe hosting, and we didn't really settle on it. They got on the stage, and it was one of those mics where it's like typical, 12 or 13 comedians and a couple of friends. Most people, like half people are drunk, not real audience, And they got on stage and they announced, they're like, I thought there was someone else going to host, and they just said, come up to the host, your host, Niko Lukoff. I'm like, oh, I guess I'll go get that clipboard and read that really sloppy drunken name up top that I couldn't understand. And then I did a set, and then I started announcing people and having that experience and confidence in doing it on Zoom. Got to do it live and host a Zoom mic live mic, and everyone liked it and had really a good time. So I think that's going to lead to more opportunities, and I'm really excited in that. I do want to shout out something here too. We had been shouting out a different mic. Obviously, I'm gonna shout out yours, Zach. It's a great mic. I've done it a couple of times, had a lot of fun on it. I didn't really pinpoint any other specific ones right now because so many are stopping. I don't want to point people to ones that are not going anymore. But there's still a lot. We had like 200 something plus. Now we're under 200, but still it's a lot. If you want to tell jokes, there's a place to do it. There's a comic who out of New York who I'm not attributing this to Zoom because she was already crushing it and like working hard live prior, but someone who embraced Zoom and not just joining the group and just watch from afar, but actually doing Zoom mics and shows.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to fuck up her name. Jocelyn Choi. I probably screwed that up.
Yeah.
Who got passed at the Cellar.
Yeah,
like
I saw that on your Facebook page. Yeah,
I'm like, holy crap! Like that's the real deal place, and she's been busting ass on Zoom and in real life. and seen all these other comics crush it. It's been so cool to see. And now we're all connected. And now when people join the group, I have a little questionnaire, you know, where'd you hear about this? A lot of people are hearing about it on live mics now. So we're getting more people that hadn't even done Zooms coming in, because like now we're together, and there is like an unlimited number of humans who want to tell jokes. So it's going to be a weird period of time, and we're all connected, and we have a good way to do it now. And I'm very excited and happy. And Zach, we're really happy to see you, man. I enjoyed doing your fast deal.
Yeah, and we got that Delta variant, you know, so like Zoom's making a comeback.
Maybe.
Yeah, dude. Every time I hear there's like a lockdown around the world, you know, I'm in their comedies Facebook group, you know, like a vulture. I'm just like, yo, Zoom's still around.
Yeah, stand back together.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Well, Niko and I it's funny, and Zach, you mentioned this earlier. I did my first live stand-up this past week.
I saw that. I saw the clip that I saw. It was really good. Good
Thank
job,
you,
dude.
man. Yeah, awesome. And you know where I practiced the day before? Mojo Ministry.
Hell yeah.
I know we're in different angles, but for me, he's right there.
Yeah. So Zach, I don't know if you remember, I ran some jokes with those impressions and accents that I do. I ran it on your Mojo Ministry, and I wasn't, just for practice. And sure enough, having just gone through it the night before, then when I actually did it on stage, it went a little bit smoother, I feel. So yeah. I think it's good practice. Zoom is going to be important for just, getting everybody practicing. And like you're pointing out, you never know what's going to happen in the world. And don't forget winter, winter obviously is like a natural, people start to kind of not go out as much. And so, and rain and stuff like that. So I think it's here to stay. And we're still here, guys. The Zoom Open Happy Hour is still here. So we're still meeting people. And also to I don't know whether it was Zach that said this or Niko, but I do feel like there's a little bit of a boost for people who are really active on Zoom. Maybe it's I'm just trying to cognitive dissonance, but I do feel like if you were hosting, doing something, it's a little bit, I wouldn't say it's as good of a credit as like say winning a comedy competition or getting past the cellar, but it's a little something. You
did something.
Yeah.
Whether it's a credit or not, you definitely did more than sitting on your ass crying about this is hard. No.
Yeah, it makes like so in your case, Niko, you organized this group, and now there's thousands of comics on it, and it's like people know your name.
Oh yeah, it's fun. I could go. This isn't a flex. I can go. I was gonna potentially be able to go to Burbank Comedy Festivals in a couple of weeks. I was potentially gonna be able to go physically there, and I got in it, but it didn't work out to travel. But just from like 24 hours or 12 hours of just text or messaging people, I'm like, I found couches to sleep on and stuff to do where if I could have made the trip, I could have gone and done the fest and maybe next year, or I'll go later in the year when it's not as hectic.
I think people, good or bad. I mean, people know Niko Lukoff, people know Zach Handa, they know your name. And, maybe when you call them and say, hey, can I get on your show? They'll say, sure. So,
oh yeah. And I don't think people were, you didn't mention this, but Niko got passed for real at Flappers.
Awesome,
yeah,
man.
They sent me an email I thought it was the same as the thing I was already doing, that I posted it because I thought it was fun. I thought all my friends would be like, I just got that too, but I didn't say that part because I didn't want to, if it wasn't the case, but now I'm saying it now on this. So, but I was just like, oh shit, that's like a thing. Yeah, like I could go and tell them my times and get on shows.
Awesome, man.
So
now all you gotta do is move to LA. And you'll be
yeah.
All right, guys. So we're kind of going over on time, and we lost a few people here. It looks like. Let me see. Is it just? Did we lose? Yeah, we lost Ed because he had to go fight something. He had to turn off the
everybody but us.
Yeah. So maybe we don't need to do the quiz show after all. Unless, we could just keep talking. Yeah, we could just keep talking, or we could. We don't have Ed, and we don't have the rest of the crew. I think we just call it a day here.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's great, man. It's great to see you guys. I think we're gonna keep rolling with the, now that we've moved to every other week, it's a little bit less onerous. Oh, you have a clip? You want to play a clip?
Okay, yeah. I'm not sure. These are. Let's go for it. I think everyone's gone.
Please tell me it's like super racist and like. Oh, did you saw the Kevin Wong post? That was so funny. Tommy, you see, Kevin Wong. He's been on our show.
Kevin.
Show. he posted that somebody went up to him and was like, I remember you from your mic, and it was like, you smoke weed. There's like, I was just confused with Zach Handa. Somebody just thought. This was so funny, and both you guys rock really good Zoom bikes, so I just thought that was real fun.
Yeah, like I've always been really fortunate because like a lot of people like confuse Asian dudes, you know. And I've always been like fortunate. Like I feel like just being memorable or something that like it's usually other Asian dudes that get confused for me. You know, like that happened. Yeah, that happened
win.
like at school. My arch nemesis Charles Chong, like yeah, he always got mad because people were like, "Oh, you're Zach Hahn." He was like, "No, I'm not." And then yeah, he knocked mints out of my hand one time. He got frustrated. He was like, I'm tired of this.
Well, yeah, yeah, you know, it's interesting, you know, like people, you know, they see you on Zoom. Oh, I should mention, you know who I saw for real? Ezra Paco.
Oh yeah, I saw you post that.
So
awesome.
you've
been doing a Woodham Lounge every Monday or whatever.
Well, I saw him in real life down in, you know, where I performed last week, and he's like, he comes up to me and he gives me a big hug, and he's like,
I had him back.
Dude, I feel like I'm meeting a celebrity. And I'm like, no, it's just me.
That's so cool. And that's so fun. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, and he's such a nice dude and funny guy. I've been seeing on the when they do the Woodham Lounge Zoom, and everybody. So not just people who like I started a Facebook group. Zach does his mic, which is incredible. Everybody who jumps in that group and is like, hey, I'm going to this place. What's going on? There's always helpful people to be like, this is what's happening. And I just thank you for everybody. I want to just shout out everybody who's running all these things. Zach, thanks for running all these. You actually put in the time, all this stuff, all that time. I just made a thing and directed some traffic. Y'all actually made spaces for us all, and I'm going to shut up probably soon.
All right.
I'll mute myself.
Well, so since Zach did give us a clip, let's play it. Give us some background here.
Oh, I was at the Chatterbox, and it was this was from June.
Okay.
So I think I had some like topical jokes about the month of June.
All right. Chatterbox. Is that in West LA or where is that?
It's like east of East LA. You know,
East
San
East
Gabriel
LA.
Valley. Yeah.
Good. All right. Well, let's play this clip of Zach in real life. Here we go.
Right now, give it up for Zach Handa. Man, it's great to be back at the Chatterbox. Man, this place is... So give it up for the bartender, Steve. Yeah. He's our hero, man. Yeah, dude. You know, I'm grateful for one thing. You know, I heard that COVID hurt your sense of smell. Yeah. And I think we should all be thankful that COVID did not happen during the Attitude Era of the WWF. Yeah. Because a lot of people would not have been able to smell what The Rock was cooking.
That's good.
Yeah, I watched a lot of wrestling growing up. And it was a good time. Yeah. It's also Pride Month. Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, dude. Yeah. You know, I've been an ally for a long time. You know, like way before it was popular. You know, in fact, you know, when autism first became like really big, you know, people would be like, I'm on the spectrum. And like, I'd be like, yeah, I'm an ally, bro. Because I thought they were talking about the Kinsey scale, dude. That's like, dude, that's the OG spectrum, dude. Yeah, dude, being gay's on the spectrum, bro. Yeah. Dude, if you're gay and you have autism, that's like double spectrum, bro.
Double spectrum.
Yeah, dude, that sounds like like an Urban Dictionary sex move too. That's what's up, man. There was I went to Mount Sac, and there was like there's like a gay pride club, and it would always have like food sales, you know, and like all the items would be like double entendres, you know, like the chili dog, you know, and so I would always just be like, that item, that can't be a sex move, you know what I mean? I'm gonna get this clean item, you know. I'd be like, I'd like a snow cone, please. You know, so I would be like eating the snow cone, and I'd be like, let me look this up. You know, let me just make sure. And I looked it up on Urban Dictionary, and it's when you like give someone a blowjob with crushed ice in your mouth, you know, and then it makes a snow cone. And I was like, oh, they got me again. It's close. Yeah, dude. Everybody, yeah. Okay, Handa, thank you very much.
Yeah, man, life in LA. Life as an LA comic.
Yeah, I felt like the first mistake was I was like, give it up for the bartender, and everyone got like really loud, and then I was just like, oh man, if I bomb, it's gonna be obvious I bombed hard because of how many people you could hear at first.
Oh.
I think
Man, yeah.
I think Zach, you've got a very maybe Niko would agree with me, but I think you've got like a very unique style, you know, this like well, you mentioned your mullet, you're Asian, you're wearing like your tracksuit jacket.
Yeah. Oh, I cut the mullet.
Oh, you cut the mullet. All right, well, you'll have to bring that back, because I think that, you know, sort of like, you know, you just said growing up on WWE and just so yeah, you're like a throwback in a way, but that's good. I think that makes you unique.
You could decide if you want to be funny with the mullet, or if you want to get girls.
Yeah, well, I have
one or the other.
I already have a lady, you know.
Yeah, he's
so
spoken.
I've been very like devout, you know. I'm being like a good Christian man. You know what I mean? Well, actually, I'm more like I'm a good like Muslim man. You know, I'm not like talking to unaccompanied women. You know, I'm just like, yeah. Yeah, no, I get intimidated when I talk to beautiful women, but by my fiance, she doesn't like that. So you know, I'm
And then Zach, the way you talk also, it's like it's you know, I love the way you sound like you're from the Midwest sometimes, but I know you're not. But that's how you sound to me. I don't know if you do that on purpose, but
oh no. Well, this is the thing. I grew up in like a Mexican neighborhood. So like I feel like there's hints of like stoner and Latino, you know, but like
there's something going on.
Yeah.
Do you talk about that on stage?
I don't talk about that
That's
on stage.
hilarious.
Like, I talk for because
if you came out and like I'm like did it like that's really, I know that's not what we're just talking and hanging out, like that's a funny thing to dive into, like because that just paints a picture and it's original.
That's what's up. Yeah, I'll write that down.
It's a feedback mic. Everybody loves those.
Hell yeah.
Meanwhile, Niko, I think you've got the Hobbit market cornered.
Oh yeah, I closed it out. I closed out a set last night with, because I've been closing out my Zoom stuff. Like I've been Samwise Gamgee 20 years later.
Yeah,
and not everybody gets that, but a lot of people do. And then last night I closed it with, I've been whatever Lord of the Rings character you think I look like. And then that got a pretty fun reaction.
Yeah, Niko's turned into like a hobbit that's stealing dwarf valor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like...
Well, anyway, you guys, I think you've cultivated your looks, you've got your personalities, and I think you should just keep doing that and keep doing what you're good at.
Yeah, I feel like though, because in person there's like one drink minimum mics and stuff like that, and I feel like I've been turning from like a weed comic to a beer comic, even though I don't want to be like, oh, I'm a substance, but you know what I mean, like I've been more buzzed going up. Yeah, it's been an interesting experience.
You should just bring your bong on stage, pour that beer as your bong water into your bong, and then hit your bong on stage. It's legal in California, right?
It is.
Well, you can't smoke it. You can just
Yeah, I don't know if it's like that legal.
I don't think you can do
Like,
that. You definitely
I don't
can't. You should anyway, but you're definitely not supposed to. It might be the last time you go to that place.
But yeah, because before I was I don't know if this is like terrible advice, but like before that used to be kind of like one of my sticking points where it's like I can't connect with this drunk audience. Like I like when I do tell jokes to drunk people, I just lose them. And then like I just started drinking beer, and like I feel like it puts you on the level, you know, with like a drunk crowd, because it's like I lose the attention span for my own jokes, and I'm just like, yo, what's up? You know, you start vibing. Yeah.
All right, guys. I think I'm gonna have to wrap it up here.
All right.
We've lost Ed. Apparently, Ed said there was a leak at the water main, and so he sounds like he's doing father, dad, house stuff. So
Sounds like
we
a
lost
good
him.
excuse to get off of Zoom if he doesn't
Yeah,
want to be here.
we lost Anna
What a
May.
jerk.
Anna May just said she had to go because she, you know, she's a busy real estate person, I suppose. But and I don't know what happened to Rebecca. Did she just like left?
Someone's at my door and they're more interesting than what you're saying. That's what she wrote. Isn't that weird? That's a
Oh, here we go.
that's
Wait,
that was rude. She didn't write that exactly.
Rebecca wrote something. Where did she write? All right. Well, anyway, it's too bad we lost. It's too bad we couldn't do it. But anyway, it's good to connect with you guys.
Yeah.
That would be dope though. If somebody was like, all right, I gotta run, Matlock is on. I gotta watch my shows.
Yeah. Back in the day, people used to do that. I remember I was in a meeting like from my homeowners association, and it was like 7:40, and we pay these guys to manage our homeowners association. And the guy's like, he's looking at his watch. He's like, okay, I think we need to wrap this up. I gotta get home. I gotta go. America's Got Talent's on tonight. Like, all right,
Quantum leap. It might be the leap home. I gotta go.
Yeah,
That's
a good excuse. But anyways. All right,
Thanks,
guys.
Tommy.
Well, let's keep doing this. Let's keep doing Zoom. I know that we just went long and we lost a lot of people, but we're still here. We're still having our talk show. If you happen to be watching this still, or you're going to watch us on YouTube, we will be back in 2 weeks on July 30th. We will be here again in 2 weeks from now, and we'll just keep doing this as long as there's comics and they're interesting and they're doing stuff. We'll bring them on the show and talk to them. That's the plan. So
See you guys later.
give it up for Zach and Niko, and everybody give it up for yourselves.
Thanks, Tommy.
And this was Tommy Feldman Happy Hour. Let me see if I can find the music. Ed just sent it to me, and we can do a little bit of a dance. Here we go. I'll put that on. Music's playing.
Do you got like news music?
I have music. I have like outro.
It's like the news techno where they're like
Yeah, well, let's see if I can find. You know what? Forget that. Anyway, let's just pretend this was the Tommy Feldman Happy Hour. Yay! Okay, guys. See you next week. All right.
Have a good night.
All right. Good night, everyone. Bye now.